Man, after a rough movie like that, I could certainly use a summer vacation, which I forgot was not the name of the movie, is instead The Great Outdoors.
Well, you could use a trip to the great outdoors.
Yes, exactly. There we go.
There, yeah. Yes, one of the classic John Candy and Dan Aykroyd comedies from the 80s, written and produced by John Hughes, but not directed by John Hughes.
Oh,
Yeah, it was directed by what was his name? Howard Deutsch, who I believe also did he did some of Hughes's movies. Like I think he did Pretty in Pink and some kind of wonderful.
okay.
Yeah,
That explains the tone of this one.
yeah. Yeah. So this one is so it centers on so John Candy's family. He plays Chet Ripley, and he and his wife and his two sons, which is kind of like my family. I had an older brother, and I was the younger brother. They head out. They're heading up to this lake mountain retreat for real nice little vacation. But little did they know that the in-laws, Candy's in-laws, Roman Craig and his wife Kate, who's played Roman's played by Dan Aykroyd, and then Kate's played by Annette Bening. They decide to surprise him at the cabin, and much to Chet's chagrin, because his brother-in-law Roman is a real snob.
He's an investment banker type, best of everything. He brings lobsters for them to have for dinner.
Yeah, he's like, he wanted to have hot dogs. Those are made of lips and assholes. Oh yeah, asshole.
So it's actually very funny to me that this is basically like they wanted a do-over of The Summer Rental.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a movie we reviewed last year at some point.
Yeah. It was almost like John Candy was not satisfied with that movie. He's like, I want to do a similar movie, only like with John Hughes, and maybe bring Dan in and have some fun.
Right. Yeah, and this one is definitely the stronger movie of the two. Mm-hmm. I just having Dan there as a foil to him gives him a lot of opportunities for comedy, but also in that movie, he was sidelined for a good chunk of it with. So did he get hurt in that movie? Like it was like an injury or a sunburn or something?
Well, he sunburned, and I think he broke his leg.
Yeah, so
something like that. Yeah,
which means that you have a great comedian like John Candy with a lot of scenes where he's just stuck in one place and not really getting to interact with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there were some scenes like him dealing with the neighbor with the fake implants, but it's still
yeah.
Having an alternate family for him to bounce off of was definitely a better idea.
Yeah, and you also, and of course, Aykroyd's got his twin daughters who are like the creepy red-haired girls,
it's like very shining.
Yes.
But John Candy is great as the Midwest's overweight dad, is the way I think of him.
Yeah.
So he's part of the great trilogy of two early departed comedic fat actors from the 70s through the 90s.
Yeah.
With Belushi and Farley.
Yeah.
And I think he's like at the cross path between their styles, where Farley is much more happy golden retriever is usually his mode of operations, but occasionally he gets angry.
Yeah.
Where Belushi is more like low grade simmering rage the whole time that occasionally he expresses in some way.
Yeah, he'll just blow up. Yeah, you kind of like it. Yeah, he's like a like a tea kettle. Yeah.
Yeah, and where I can't really think of any movies I've seen with him in it where he like is really a happy-go-lucky character at all.
Yeah. Animal House would probably be the closest.
And even then, he had like a lot of angry moments in that one, like smashing up the guitar.
That's true. Yeah.
But John Candy is like somewhere in the middle, which is the point I was
Yeah.
getting to.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
where like he feels like he's an affable guy, but he's rather thin-skinned in a lot of his roles. Whereas like he's
Yeah.
like he is very opinionated. He has his idea of how things should go, and he wanted to just have a nice simple vacation like he had with his dad when he was a kid. And boy, is he unhappy that this yuppie has shown up to stomp all over his plans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, because yeah, and he does like it. Just everything he wants to do, like it just gets ruined by him by Aykroyd. It's just like whether it's water skiing or horseback riding or it's just
Right.
like
But to be fair, John Candy's love of Snickers probably ruined his horseback riding trip more than anything else.
yeah, yeah. I felt bad for that horse.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Um, actually, I do kind of want to point out real quick. Can you see the difference in his size between Summer Rental and this movie? Like,
Let me pull up a poster for Summer Rental.
because if you look at him in Summer Rental, like he was heavy in that movie, but not nearly as heavy as he was in this one.
Yeah, let's see here. Let me just pull up a cover here. Also, this is a painted image, so they might have been a little complimentary. So let's get an actual one for.
But yeah, and yeah, he does. And the other thing too is he's really great with physical. He was really great with physical comedy, and there's definitely a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, although I could definitely tell that they had a stuntman for some of the water skiing scenes.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's great outdoors.
Right. I have.
You're doing a compare and contrast. Okay.
Yeah. He almost looks heavier in this picture, but I think you're right that in the actual movie he looked lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he had definitely ballooned up quite a bit.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, like Candy had a lot of. I think he had anxiety. And yeah, he had a lot of and he had various issues and didn't usually choose the healthiest ways to deal with them. One of those was overeating, binge eating.
Right. Because carbs feel like happy because your brain says, "Oh, good, we're not starving."
Yeah, yeah. And but yeah, of course, he like Belushi and Farley, he dabbled in some illicit substances too. But yeah, but to get back to this movie, there's some I mean, classic moments in there, like of course, the old 96er.
Sorry. Sorry, the what? The what?
The old 96er. The big steak.
Oh yes, God, that's. I forgot what they called it. But
Yeah.
I wonder if. Okay, there's no way he actually ate that steak, or did he?
No, not the whole thing. No. He probably ate some of it, yeah, but not all of it. He said, "There's nothing left on that plate but gristle and fat."
Well, eat it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Let's see. Other nice things about this movie, and I think that is that John Hughes influence. Like I always feel that thematically, he was very big on like family being an inconvenience, but at the end of the day, they're still your family.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a staple of his movies. Yeah.
But also, he was always good about giving most of the characters some sort of arc. So, like if I compare this one to Summer Rental, this one definitely had more for the kids to do.
Yeah. Although we'll get to that with the negative. I do have like one negative with this movie. But no, yeah, I mean, it's a classic John Hughes movie, classic John Hughes story, and yeah, and if you're a fan of his movies, I mean, you've probably already seen it, but seen this movie. But if you haven't, what are you waiting for?
Yep, it's I think it's off of Netflix now, as I recall.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It was like the 15th or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was leaving soon, but it'll pop back up somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Daniel, what's your negative?
I felt that the romance subplot with the teen son and the townie girl was a little tacked on.
Yeah, a little bit besides the point. Because it didn't really drive any conflict with him and the family. Like, heck, the night of the 96er, he explicitly chose to stay around and support his dad instead of going to see her, where you kind of almost needed a scene where he did blow off the family to see her without permission.
Yeah.
Because that would have driven up the conflict more, because that's, that John Candy's just trying to have a goddamn good vacation with his family, goddamn it.
Yeah.
And here he is going off with some local floozy.
Yeah. Which I mean, they kind of made her sound like a floozy at one point, where he's like, when they're sitting on the boat together and she's like, I've never had a boyfriend that's lasted longer than a couple of weeks. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, buddy, either she only likes to date out-of-towners who are going to leave her anyway, or she might be kind of a bicycle. Or she has some sort of hidden personality defect.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was the only negative I had about this movie. The rest of it's great.
Yeah, like there's a couple of things where you can nitpick the logistics of certain scenes, but it's all for the sake of over-the-top comedy, so it's allowed.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, whoever the bear trainer was for this movie did a fantastic job.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Because there were a lot of scenes with real grizzly bears.
Yeah. Although I would imagine some of the closer up shots were probably just guys in suits, but
right, or some sort of animatronic. Yeah, there were definitely some fakes in there, but
yeah,
I mean, there was one scene where they just had a bear riding on top of a car that was in motion. Like that's while another one was on the hood. Like they didn't seem overly concerned, and they didn't attack anybody, as far as I know. So
right, yeah, that.
I do feel sorry for, we're in the spoiler section. I do feel sorry for the one bear that had to get shaved a bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he already had some taken off the top, and then he had some taken off on the bottom.
I think that's the other thing, is that if I would compare this again to its obvious comparison, Summer Rental, is that this one had a more satisfying ending, because it did just tie up that whole, at the end of the day, we're all in this together family message.
Yeah. There was a nice resolution to everything, whereas Summer Rental just ended.
To be fair, as I recall with Summer Rental, they made it very quickly without a full script.
Oh, yeah.
Or if they had a full script, I remember reading on Wikipedia that Candy said that they had, like, the movie was shot a little too fast. Where part of the thing with a comedy like this is that I'm sure that some of the scenes were improv by the actors on the site as they were just getting into character and coming up with things to do.
Oh yeah.
So if you have to shoot your comedy too quickly, you don't have opportunities for those little moments of inspiration.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure Aykroyd and Candy were just bouncing ideas off each other the whole time.
Yep. And Aykroyd plays a good yuppie.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, that part where he's trying to talk on those old 80s cell phones.
Trying to get $25,000 out of a preacher.
Yeah. I went to his church once. Man.
Yeah. I'd say that if you're looking for a good, relatively clean family comedy, here's your option.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
That's the thing about classic comedy movies is that you don't want to give away too much.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't necessarily have a plot that demands a lot of deep analysis.
Right. Yeah. They're just fun, good times to be had at the theater and with your in front of the TV with your family.
Right. It's like, yeah, that's the nature of these reviews. Is like it's basically we're not so much analyzing anything as it is filtering. Like, hey, if you only have time for one movie, you can skip Summer Rental until you've watched The Great Outdoors.
Yeah, exactly.